our third and final panel question. In your line of work, what are your top 2 to 3 most challenging hurdles as you strive to help the mentally ill? We'll start with Colonel Wells.
So, great question. Obviously, we talked about this a little bit, but the folks that enter law enforcement, and when they enter this, and as I did growing up as a teenager, with this being a lifelong dream to do, and preparing all of my young adulthood college degrees to do this, it was not my intent to treat mental illness. And that's not what our folks come into. So it's almost 900 hours for the basic law enforcement academy, and then about another 1,000 hours of in-agency training. That's the bare minimum on top of their degrees. And about 6 of those hours in the law enforcement academy prepare our guys to do this. 1/5 of our time is spent on it. We spend hundreds of hours a year on driving tracks and firearms ranges and learning to collect physical evidence. And most people walk through a 25-year career and never have to use their firearm in the line of duty, by the grace of God, me included, never have to. So it's just, that's the first challenge, is we'll have to address until the system gets better, and I don't know the answers to that. And I told our deputies yesterday, when Pete and Lisa came and addressed about 70, 60 of our first line leaders and our leadership team in the sheriff's office, I don't know the answers to this. I don't have any policies to give you or new procedures, other than to tell you we as deputy sheriffs are problem solvers, not call takers, and we're going to work to do our best to fill the gap until our community and the other services get where we need them to be. So the education, the community perception is certainly one of the challenges and one of the goals, but we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and trying to run a model jail when it comes to dealing with this, trying to educate our deputy sheriffs when it comes to, it takes one thing to commit a crime, and it takes criminal intent. If you didn't have criminal intent to commit a crime, you haven't met the crime triangle. So if someone's committing the crime due to illness, the criminal intent's not there. We need them not to come to jail, but sometimes it's our only way to keep them and society safe. So just working through these treatment courts and through the other things that we can do to get that out there, and working with public perception. So that's kind of our goals, is where we are, and just working to change the perception of all this and the acceptance of this as we move through. Who do you want me to go to next?
We're going to go to
Judge McGillen? Okay.
I think of 2 right off the bat. The first one sort of dovetails off of what Colonel Wells said. The first one is education. And I'm going to use the word ignorance in the proper use of that term, which is somebody that just does not know about the complexities of it. There's 2 things that are going to get you in trouble in my court. One is coming in and telling me that this person is a substance abuser. They are not. They have substance use disorder. They have a disease. They may have, the very first time they chose to try that drug before they'd ever had it ever before, that incident might have been an abuse of a drug. But after that, when the chemistry took over, they didn't have a choice in many cases. You look at some fantastic brain imagery of the old brain on drugs, the old frying egg pan baloney. Look at the functional MRIs of somebody's brain after they've used methamphetamine and how it turns off. It turns off the part of your brain that tells you to just say no. You can't just say no after that. So it's substance use disorder. The second one is, love the title of the book, Pete, but don't use that word in my courtroom. I hear you. And that is crazy. Somebody will come in and say that so-and-so is crazy. I just spent 4 years actually as the felony judge in Putnam County, but I'm not back here in St. John's. I'm back on a family court bench. And you would think, oh, I got away from all that. Oh, wrong answer. I did not get away from it at all. And the first thing that the spouse's attorney tries to do is they try to come in and they say, well, we need a mental health evaluation because that person's crazy. Stop right there, counselor. You're not going to use that word in this court. They need a mental health evaluation. Let's find out if something's going on. And then, if they do, we're going to treat it. You're not going to use it as a baseball bat to battle over the kids. We're going to get the parent treatment that needs the treatment in that regard. So that's the second step. And I know I'm running a little over time. time, I appreciate it. The second big one, though, is resources. And this is, for a mental health court, this is the biggest challenge that we have. Right now in the Veterans Treatment Court, I have about, John, what am I at, 35 participants right now?
We average between 32 and 35.
John keeps better statistics than even the court admin does. About 35 with one judge, and I'm not saying that I'm not the focus of this. It's not me, but that is one of the resources. On my family court bench, I have about 1,300 new cases a year. And my felony bench over in Putnam County, which is a county with only 70,000 residents, we had about 1,700 new felony cases a year. That doesn't even count the misdemeanor side of the house, one judge. Here in St. Johns County, last year it was about 2,500 new cases, one felony judge. We started a mental health treatment court. Those courts are time intensive, they're judicial resource intensive. The state way of counting hours for judges, just the judge, does not understand how to count for that time. And so when we go to Tallahassee, fortunately we have legislators in this area that have supported the additional resources. We've gotten a new county judge in this county and in Flagler County recently that has helped out in that regard, but it's very difficult to count those resources. But I'm just the judge. I'm not the guy that does the treatment. That's the folks from Sandy's office, the folks from the Department of Veterans Affairs, the folks from Epic Behavioral, our other community partners, the folks here at Flagler Hospital that handle the Baker Act cases. The resources are out there, and it is a team that has to address these problems. It's not just the judge or the law enforcement or anybody else.
Thank you very much, Joe. In a matter of keeping time at hand, because we are at time, if you can give us, instead of 2 to 3, 1 to 2.
I'm going to dovetail right off of everything that's been said. It's resources. I have 216 beds at just my facility. There's over 400 people on the waiting list to get treatment because they've been committed or been charged with a felony in the state of Florida. Over 380 of those are men. I don't have the beds. Chattahoochee doesn't have the beds to get the people in that need help. So we need to get to the mental health courts and get the community resources rolling to get people the help that they need so that they can get better. And money, it's resources, and it's part of the resources. It's money to pay the people the right amount of money they need to want to work at our facilities so that we can take care of everybody. It's just become a huge challenge all over. So I'm just going to stick with the resources.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you.
I agree, again, with resources. We need the funding so that we can beef up our labor force and have the resources so we don't have the wait lists. But one thing I definitely want to mention, because it's come up as a theme here lately, is to have the correct type of resources. Having outpatient treatment is crucial, especially when you're having a mental health court, veterans court, drug court. However, there is a certain type of resource that is needed that we don't have at all, especially in St. Johns County and even Putnam, and it's having a higher level of care. People who have mental illness can be treated on an outpatient basis, but there is a pocket of that population that cannot succeed with the kind of resources that we have. And that means that they sometimes need a residential bed. Maybe a step down from the state hospital, but still a residential bed, and they need structure and they need security. They're not going to do well living on their own. And even if we had an ALF, which in St. John's we don't, ALFs are also very loose. They're not structured. There was a program in Mr. Early's book, I think it was called Passageways. Those sorts of programs where there's a higher level. And that is something we just don't have. And again, it probably boils back to funding and licensing. But I do think people need to be aware that just outpatient treatment isn't going to solve everything. One size just doesn't fit all.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
As of today, I've walked more than 52 million steps around the world. I've walked also 6 continents. I'm about to do Antarctica next year. I raised money. I raised $500,000 walking from New York City to Katrina. We raised $500,000 in 33 days, walking 50 miles a day, and gave it all away to charity. I'd like to offer that to the panel here. If you need any help, give us a call. Our books, we don't sell them, we give them away. If people want to make a donation, it goes to charity, bottom line. The bottom line is to give. Give everything you got. I'm 78 years old. Yeah, 78. Don't I look beautiful? That's because of my wife and because of God. So God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you, everybody. So, and before I read this number, I just want to say I'm very excited about what's coming to St. Johns County as well as Putnam County. It's talks and conversations like this. It's how we take a step forward to erase the stigma and make a difference. And I get super excited when I see community leaders leading the way. So thank you, Colonel Wells. I see Councilwoman Kathy Washington in the back. And Mayor Watts, thank you very much for representing Putnam County.
It's your show, at least you talk.
That's
on
right.
it.
Just because I know everyone is going to stay here for the 50-50 drawing, I just want to make a couple of quick acknowledgments. Can everybody who was on our care team that did the evaluation process of what we need in our community, if you were part of the care team, can you please just stand up? Okay. The care team, please come to the front very quickly. I just have a quick presentation for you, and we do have a couple of other people. You know, Jimmy, come over here so I can just look one way. Okay. All right. And I just have a quick, just a presentation. I just wanted to give you a little plaque to thank you so much. We have a couple of other people from the care team that were not able to make it here today. And Marcy, if you can stand up for Jennifer for me, because Marcy actually gave us a resource within her facility so that we could have a resource there. But I wanted to thank you guys so much for everything that you've done. And my son has been has touched your lives, all of your lives they have touched, and I want to thank you. So, okay, thank you. And then I just have a couple of more presentations really quick. Judge McGillen, thank you so much. My son has been through his courtroom, and he has been such a champion. Yes. Yeah. You know what? Actually, two of my sons been through your courtroom. I know. One is a champion, and one is maybe making it to championship. But I wanted to thank you for being such a champion, and it's because Judge McGillen is really pushing for this mental health court that we need to have in our community, and I wanted to thank you for your championship. Okay, just very quickly, Tara Lynn, Shirley. Tara Lynn, Shirley's here. Come on up front, ladies. Come on up front. These ladies are my powerhouse. They're actually part of my Bible study group too. So these ladies are my powerhouse ladies, and there are coordinators for all of our volunteers. Can all of our volunteers please stand up? Some of them out there still volunteering. Volunteers. We could not have done any of this without volunteers. And that's one of the things that I actually want to make sure that we do in taking this to the next level. Because one of the things that makes the Veterans Court work, I've been through the process, I see it, is volunteers. That's one of the missing components, is community. The community is a missing component of making this all work. And I want to encourage you, if you can give 1 to 2 hours a month in volunteering in some area that really touches you, please, please do so. These ladies have put in hours, and hours upon hours, and I want to thank you, Tara Lynn. Thank you. Don't you cry now. Thank you, ladies, so very much. Thank you, thank you. And then I also want to recognize our moderator here, Ms. Courtney. Thank you so much. She came in and just decided to do this for us, and she's done such a wonderful job. So Courtney, thank you so much. And last but not least, I can't say enough of just this panel here. You've heard everyone. Look at their bios. They've done a lot of things in their life. And last but not least, Mr. Early, aka Pete. He said, call me Pete. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone here that came out on a Saturday morning. Come on now. A Saturday morning, you guys came out to support this. And I thank you so very much for that. All right? Okay, so now I'm gonna pass it back on to Courtney. We'll announce the winner, and on your way out, make it happen, okay?
Before I read these lucky 4 digits right here, can we have a standing round of applause for Miss Lisa? And everything she has done. And for her beautiful family. Thank you, Lisa.
I forgot to give Mr. Pete early. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for taking this time with us. We do appreciate it. I hope you go well with the rest of your day. Be blessed and stay safe. We love you all. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.